So Monday was Memorial Day. Hopefully you all had a good Memorial Day. My wife and children and I went to Folk Life and had a good time. I got sunburned. Losing my hair, so it's sunburned up here now. So we're going to go over search engine optimization in WordPress without using a plugin. Today, at the end of this week, create a pull quote for your site using custom fields, and adding a widget to your site in your sidebar is due. Did I tell you guys about, remember how I said, oh man, I should have written up that widget lecture. I forgot to do that. Here's the funny story. Apparently I did write it up last year. I just never linked it to my site. So there is a written using widgets in WordPress that basically goes over, you know, what we did in the video, and shows you then how to call a dynamic sidebar, etc. I'd like to give Mark credit for this, but he didn't do it like he was supposed to. Right? Well, as long as you're aware of that. I mean, that's the first step, right? So, so anyway, that's there. Next week, we are then going to go over creating a flex ladder gallery using attachment images in WordPress. Or I can have all of week 10 to just be open lab. That create a flex slider gallery using attachment images of WordPress. Would you guys like me to demo that and see how it's done? Or would you guys like open lab next week for both days?
I would personally like to know anything you can show us. Sounds like there'd be time for lab in addition to that.
Yeah, I can breeze through it kind of quickly and show you the ins and outs of it. I'm not going to type everything out and do all that. It's also not an official assignment, right? Finals week. There is no presentation in this class because basically your presentation would be, look, I incorporated Mike's lecture size stuff into my website. Right. It's not really, to me, not really, unknown is calling me. I love when unknown calls me.
Hello.
Yeah, exactly. That was, Adele was playing earlier, wasn't it?
I don't know.
I swear I heard Adele playing earlier out in the hallway.
It might have been.
Okay, so what we'll do then is on Monday, we'll go through the Flex Slider Gallery, because I think it's a really nice solution. Yeah, and then finals week will just kind of be an open lab week, both Monday and Wednesday. I'll be here, you know, you guys come if you need to, don't. So all you guys at home, what I'm telling you guys should all do is you should wait till 10 minutes before Wednesday ends, and everybody should come and ask for help with all of their assignments, right? Because that's sarcasm. Let's then get into search engine. Now, this lecture that I'm going to talk about today, and also the Flex Slider one, is not on my school site. It is actually on my business site. So if you go to the schedule, again, and you click here on that lecture, it will then open up this lecture here. So search engine in optimization in WordPress without using a plugin. So let's go over a bit of basics of, well, what is search engine optimization? And this is kind of getting to what we were talking about a while ago. How many of you have taken writing for the web yet? One person. Okay, 2 people. You took it, right? Yeah. So in that class, I have this lecture, Search Engine Visibility. That basically, from a writing standpoint, the long and the short of it is, how does SEO work? Well, there are 2 main components that must be present in a web page to get the best overall long-term search engine visibility or search engine optimization. First, text component. Well, what does that mean? Words, specifically keywords. In other words, the words on your website need to match what a user types into the Google machine, right? For instance, if I'm a restaurant in Seattle that I'm opening up a new restaurant and I need a logo for that restaurant, what might I type into the Google machine to find somebody in Seattle locally who does logo design?
Seattle logo design.
Right. If you type in Seattle logo design, you're going to get a lot of Mariners logo stuff. So we're going to say instead, logo design Seattle. Again, this is kind of my example that I go with all the time. And you will see up at the top, paid search engine results.
Cheaters.
What?
Cheaters.
Well, we have a tendency, do you guys even look at those?
No.
Right. You will then also see down below organic search engine optimization. So if you were in Web 200 earlier, Aaron was busting my chops on not using HTML5 header tags because apparently search engine optimization. Because I use, so here's the drawing, and you know, nothing but respect for you, Aaron, if you're watching this. If you're hearing that I'm talking about you, Aaron, it's because I respect you, and you're fun to have in the class and tease, and you tease me too. But I typically go with div ID header, div ID nav, et cetera, et cetera. So if I typed in logo design Seattle, let's take a look at the results. Number 1, thumbtack.com. Well, that is probably, has anybody ever used Thumbtack? They're kind of a service like Angie's List almost, but you can put your portfolio in there, people request bids, et cetera, whatever. Yo, best logo design in Seattle. Number 3.
Who's that?
I hear he's a nice guy.
Pardon my French. Well, I speak French all the time. How does a fucking community college instructor get to be the 3rd result for logo design Seattle?
I see it.
Yes.
Well, you asked.
I know, right?
Were you hoping for an answer?
Look at the then 4th result.
You mean front page?
Right. So the 3rd result is my actual logos page. And this right here, ladies and gentlemen, is the best I've ever done on Google for these keywords. So Aaron, if you're watching this video, what do you call this?
I say, but you can say.
Okay. Say it.
The gun rack.
It's a gun rack. Nobody? Anybody? Come on, Ralph, come on, give me some, it was funny, man. So. You don't get it?
No, not at all.
It's a gun rack,
Is this a male
the
thing?
big guns. I got guns,
Oh,
man, it's a
okay.
gun rack,
Okay.
guns.
Oh,
Guns.
okay, now, yes, okay. Okay.
Then you started talking about guns.
There's a clock over. Okay, so
Thank you.
there's then those components in terms of search engine optimization. Mainly the title tag. Look at how the title tag is written. So if you typed in logo design in Seattle, in the title tag for my portfolio section is the word logo design in Seattle. For my home page, I have the overall logo design, print design, web design, and development, premium design works, etc. So logos right here, those of you looking at home, logos right here is the page name, the destination page name. Portfolio is the gateway page. Premium Design Works is my business name. Seattle, Washington is my location. On my home page, instead, I am using the kind of master description, right? Or the tagline of my website, right? Logo design, print design, web design, development. Then what it says is Premium Design Works, Seattle, Washington. Here is the URL structure. So this is why you want to have your permalink structure the way you do, right? That really doesn't mean a whole lot, but whatever. Logo design is an intricate art form using typography, color, etc. Premium Design Works is a small design and development company, Seattle, graphic design, web design, etc. Okay? So if this is the title tag and this is the URL, what's this? Where is that coming from? That text right there.
Is that your keyword-rich featured text? From the
Yes.
the excerpt,
Yes,
keyword dense.
correct. You're missing one component. My keyword dense excerpt, like we were talking about in the past, right? We've talked about that in here, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Then is placed where in the code?
In the meta tag? Meta tag?
Meta description.
Meta description.
The meta tag
Yeah.
description. Okay.
So that's not actually viewed when you view it on the page because it's buried in the HTML meta tag.
Right. So I do a couple of different things, right? Again, if we go to my blog, right, and we look at that one example that we were talking about earlier, where convert a 960 grid website layout to responsive design. This right here, that excerpt from the excerpt field is, again, an excerpt, the excerpt field is the summary of your page. That's how you, that's what that excerpt field is, right? So again, if we go to the actual convert a 960 grid websites, what you will notice is, again, where a lot of people, so what you were saying earlier, Milo, this, Premium Design Works, etc. That can be pulled from two places. One, it can be pulled from your meta description tag, or two, it can be pulled from the body copy on your page. Okay? So here is where then the body copy on the page is written kind of anecdotally. If we then view page source, this is where The meta description then is written very keyword densely, covering all the keywords, not all the keywords, but a good base of keywords that somebody may be using that they're not looking for this article per se. They're looking for an answer to their question. Okay? So again, if you're like me and you think, how many of you have a really big ego? No? You do, Adam. Yeah,
Sure.
right? You're getting there, Milo. Yours will grow, right? You know mine is huge, obviously, right? So when I'm sitting at home and I see commercials for web.com, get your website found, I think to myself, you stupid idiots, nobody is looking for your website. What you really mean is people are looking for answers. To get those answers, how many of you were in my Web 105 class? Okay, and we talked the metadata stuff, data about data. They're going to type in whatever keywords they think are associated with finding the answer. Those keywords then need to exist in your title tag, in your meta description, and your URL structure if appropriate. Okay? So again, you can see that I'm viewing the source for, look in the URL structure here, convert a 960 grid website, responsive design, look at the title tag. 960 grid website layout, meta description to convert your pixel perfect, right? So those are the three starting points, okay? So hopefully they're not looking for you. They're not trying to find you. They are going to find the answer to their question on your website if you provide them that answer, right? Does that make sense? So that's the theory behind search engine optimization in a nutshell, right? Because to get this kind of results, the only techniques that I'm using is what I've written in my Web 160 lecture and what I've written in this lecture on my business site. Those are the techniques. Now, that goes along with the text component, right? So you want text in your titles, your meta descriptions, body, copy, anchor text, links, alt values for images, domain and file URLs. Okay? The second part of SEO, right? That how many of you have ever had somebody come to you and say, get me on the top of Google searches? Has anybody ever said that to you? Right?
Yeah,
Okay.
it didn't work.
Of course it didn't, right? Because you could do this all day long, and it doesn't matter if nobody links to you. I mean, it does and it doesn't. But what I have going for me is also the fact that people have found some of my articles and postings useful. My school site gets used every day, and a large population is going to my sites, right? And Google tracks that. How many of you guys have ever linked to anything on one of my sites before, from one of your sites? Okay. Now, when I am telling you guys to leave comments on my assignment pages to things that are on your domain, I'm giving you an SEO kick here with the link in popularity, right? So every time, Adam, you leave a comment to an assignment that you have tucked away under your domain, you have a quality website that is very highly ranked, Students Premium Design Works, that is linking to your site. So we're scratching each other's backs is what we're doing, right? Does that make sense?
Isn't that, doesn't Google kind of filter that if it's kind of WordPress blog comment based?
Not if they're real organic
Yeah.
things.
So that counts, huh?
Yeah, it also does depend on what, in other words, if you just put the URL to your assignment, that won't get as high of a kick as if you wrote the keywords that you want that link to be associated with, and then wrote an A tag around it and then linked it to your assignment, right? That's what this is all about, the anchor text link stuff. Does that make sense? Okay. But in terms of titles, meta descriptions, and alt values, then, we have places in WordPress built in that we can store that information. Okay? So, going back to this, what is SEO and how does it work, right? So, we'll go much more in-depthly. What I'm not going into today is, well, how do I actually research keywords? What are they? Okay, we'll talk about that in Web 160. Simply put, search engines will find the keywords in your website text that users have queried for, right? How to create a wireframe in Illustrator. Creating a website wireframe in Illustrator, right? It finds it in the title, it finds it in the URL, it finds it in the body copy, okay? Whether that copy is in the excerpt meta description or actually in the body tag, right? Titles, meta descriptions, body copy, anchor text, all values, etc. This is a PDF that all of you should read. Search Engine Optimization Starter Guide on the Google machine. So create unique, accurate page titles. Make use of the description meta tag. Meta description should be unique to every page, right? How many of you so far have used a meta description in your website and just put one generic meta description in there for every page? That's a start. Now with WordPress, because you are doing dynamic content, you can use WordPress to write unique meta descriptions for every page in posting and have WordPress automatically populate your meta description field. Okay, so here's what we're talking about. Well, let's just say, what's the problem with using SEO plugins? My opinion is that you don't need SEO plugins, or at least ones like this SEO Yoast. Because what they do is they allow you to write an SEO title and an SEO meta description. Well, if you set your WordPress site up correctly, why do you need to do this? You're just overriding title. In other words, this will overwrite your title tag, this will overwrite your meta description. Why? Okay. Now there is a plugin that I use on my WordPress sites called Google XML Sitemaps. Use that plugin. Google XML Sitemaps. What that plugin does is it will connect and communicate your site to Google. Every time you make an update or there is traffic on your website or there are things going on your website, that plugin will communicate with the Google machine. It will also create an XML sitemap of your website, XML formatted, so Google can read it much easier. Okay, so I use those. But again, the title tag and meta descriptions. When it comes to writing the SEO titles within these plugins, what you're actually doing is overwriting. Dangerous and waste of time. Meta description. When it comes to these plugins, overwriting, dangerous, waste of processing power. So what should I do instead? Well, the title tag. The title tag is the first thing that someone will read when browsing the search engine results. So here's how I use formulas. For my site's pages, the page title, the category or gateway title, the business name, city, state. Logo is Portfolio Premium Design Works, Seattle, Washington. For postings, you would want to do something similar. The posting name, title, business name, city, state. Why don't I have category here like I do for pages? Because that posting might be in multiple categories. Okay. For the site's front page, you want to use your website's tagline, business name, city, state. Okay? So, you guys ready to write a title tag? Here's my function. So I'll switch back and forth. So currently, in my header.php file, right, in my themes folder, I have in the title tag written blog info description, blog info name, right? The description gets Mike's WordPress demo, spring, et cetera, WEB170, spring 2016. Okay. Under settings, general. Site title. Site title. Blog info name, site title. Mike's WordPress demo, spring 2016. It's my site's tagline. My tagline. Blog info description, my tag. If you haven't used your functions file yet to write your own functions, that's what we're going to do here. Okay. So basically, I replaced that with a function, get my title tag. So if I then save that and it goes up to the web and we go and visit site, what do you think is going to happen? Where'd my site go? Come on, where'd my site go?
You have a function written, but you didn't call it? And that's breaking the header?
I have an undefined function. I'm going to go to my functions file. Just like I wrote in my sub navigation, basically what I'm doing then is I'm creating my own defined function, get my title tag, in my functions.php file, which is the same place that I've been storing some of my other stuff, okay? Echo, title tag,
Tilty tag.
whatever, tilty tag. Testy tag.
Are you not recording this?
No, it's fine.
You better be recording this, right? Yeah. It's good stuff, isn't it? So now, testy tag. Okay. So what I want to do then is, according to this lecture, I want different things for my front page, a regular page, and a posting. Okay. So, first and foremost, we are going to access the post variable or post object. So again, don't forget this, right? Variable scope. Then I want a couple of conditionals. First, I'm going to do front page. So if is front page, right? I'm just going to say for now, echo front page, right? So if I refresh, now the title is front page, right? But what I really want to do is I want to grab the site's tagline, right? To retrieve the site's tagline, that's the blog info description. Get the site's tagline. Mike's WordPress demo, Spring 16. I always put the location at the end of my title tags, because you never know when location is important, like logo design CL. So now I'm also going to, before that, and I know that what I'm doing here is a little bit walking the long road, right? In other words, should I be using echo statements here? Yes or no?
Why not a solid PHP?
Right. Some would argue, no, you should be using return statements. You should store things as variables and use return statements, et cetera, et cetera. Sometimes if you look at my code, it's a little longer than it could be, but it's readable to me, right? So yeah, I'm going with you. It's valid PHP and it's readable, right? So basically what I'm saying is, if I'm on the front page, get the site's tagline, separator, is it an E or an A? S-E-P-A-R-A-T-O-R, right? Whatever. So now, tagline, Seattle, Washington. I don't even need to use an echo statement there, do I? Login phone name. Now I want to write the name of the site, right? So now I have, get the site's tagline, give me a separator, give me the name of the site, another separator, location. Mike's WordPress demo, WEB170, Seattle, Washington. Okay, so similar to if we were on the home page of my business sites, we viewed page source, logo design, print design, web design development, premium design works, Seattle, Washington. So if I logged into my site here, and I went to settings, general, here's my tagline for my business site. Again, it's an SEO dense tagline. Here's the site title, or, you know, my business name, right? Business name, location, tagline. In the WordPress dashboard, currently there is no, I'm waiting for them to give me a form field in here to put for location. But one doesn't exist. So instead, I just have to hand write it out right there. Okay, so now what happens though if I'm here on my front page, but then I go to my about page, right? And I view page source. There's nothing there. What do I want? What are my conditions?
It's not a front page.
Okay. It's one way of doing it.
If it's other page X,
Yeah, I could do it like this. Time, title. Is it proper to say the pages or postings title, or is it proper to do the page or postings title? Come on, English majors. We'll leave it like this. So yeah, if it's front page, home page, get the site's tagline. Else, just get the title. So now we're on the About page under WEB170, Seattle, Washington. If we go to our blog and we go to a blog posting, I mean, pretty much we're done, right?
So the blog page defaults to the first post instead of saying blog.
Yeah, unfortunately. Except for, let's see, I don't remember if I ever figured or did something about that in my business site. I did. What did I do? I know what I did. So this is where I then said, else if we're on a page or a posting. For everything else, get the description. Okay, so else if is page or is single. So this is where then if we're on the front page, give me the site's tagline. Else if we're on a page or is single, a posting, get me the page or posting's title. For everything else, get me the site's tagline. So now, if we're back here at the root of the blog, right? Because we have said, well, if we're on a page, get me the page. If we're on a posting, get me the title of the posting. For everything else, including the blog feed or .404 or the search page, which we haven't done a 404 or a search page. Just another, they're just more template pages to do.
So you have a function written in function.php. Are you calling the function from index.php? All your other pages, where you're calling the function from? Header.php.
In the title tag.
Okay,
Okay? Does that make sense?
yeah.
What about if we're in a gateway page and then we want to go to a destination page? Well, there's no harm in just saying logos without the gateway page name in there. However, what if brand strategy services Seattle? This is where I don't come up nearly as high, but I'm still on page 2. And look what I did. On the off chance, because you're trying to cover as much ground as you can in the least amount of effort possible, right? On the off chance that somebody is going to put the word services into their query, but you don't have the word services in your destination page name, right? This is where what I've done is I've incorporated, if you're on a destination page, get the gateway page's title as well. So, if by the off chance then that if there is a parent page, get the title for the parent page. Parent, right? Post_parent. Why does it never show me that? I always freak out every time I write that. But I'm wrong. Right? This is where, because we're in, because we need to pass this. Actually, let me do a test here. I don't know if the title will allow me to pass the argument. Parent through it. Everybody understanding what I'm doing? Getting an error there. So yeah. Interesting. It's giving me the numerical value. Oh, that's what it is. Yeah. I'm tired. On a string value. It work for you?
Not that section, but.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. So basically what I did was then, if I'm on a destination page, right? In other words, if this page logos has a parent, being the portfolio page, then get the title of the parent page, right? Does that make sense? Totally, Mike. Totally makes all the sense in the world. No laughing or smiling. Smiling. No smiling. No smiling. Don't do it. Stop smiling. Don't laugh. Don't laugh. Don't get embarrassed. I do that to Gus all the time. Don't laugh, Gus. Don't laugh. And he can't. He has to laugh. Apparently, it works on adults too. Yeah. So, right? Like I said, is where I would encourage you. Like I said, when we had some more conditional stuff for our sub navigation, right? That's where I've really started to use my functions file. In other words, if I were to write all this conditional stuff out up here in the title tag, that's where Portia would tell me I'm writing spaghetti code, right? So to make this more readable, right, go get my title tag, right? Just like, here's a function, okay? So tuck it away in your title, in your functions file. All right. That is the title tag. So now we should have no matter where we are on our sites, a well-written set of search engine visible type titles. Make sense? Great. Moving on. So in here, I go through the tagline, the title, right? So we've covered that stuff, right? Now let's talk about the meta description. In our postings already, we have a field for excerpts. In our pages, we do not. Why? The answer is, I don't know. When is WordPress going to put that in there by default already? So we have to enable excerpts in our pages. Add post type support, page, excerpts. So if we go to this, right? Enables excerpt function, add post type support for page excerpts. Add post type support. Page excerpt. So now that we've done that, and we refresh, I can add an excerpt in there. Update. And this is where then I want to go back to my header. And I like separating my stuff out like this. Begin meta tags, begin link. Those should say actually begin links, begin scripts, etc., so on and so forth. Meta. Name, description, content, description, yeah, content. Why is it? Interesting. Got some conflicting. Content. So if you have just done a generic all-encompassing meta description, your site then no matter where you are in your site, you will get that generic all-encompassing meta description. What do we want instead?
Broken down by page type.
Now, instead of the excerpt, I'm using get the excerpt. If I use the excerpt, see if it still does this. Key tags around. So I could do one of two things. Strip tags. Is that what it is? See if I got that right. Oh. Yeah, echo, strip tags. Get the, whatever. If you use, do I need an echo? Yeah, I do. Strip, whatever. I believe, I'm not 100% positive, but I believe if I use get the excerpt, which again, you're going to have to use the echo function when you use get, right? I should get rid of the tags. So that's basically your title tag and your excerpt, right? So you would need to go and write a keyword dense excerpt for, so if we go and look at my business site, right? If we go to my home page and we edit my home page, I have this as my copy for that page, but then I have a really keyword dense excerpt that I use this function to put the excerpt. So no matter where you are then in my site, I am using then the excerpt field since they're optional handcrafted summaries of your content that can be used in your theme, why not use them for your meta descriptions, man? They're your page summary. What is a meta description? It's the summary of your page content, right? Lastly, we'll move on past body and anchor text. Alt values for images, okay? Anywhere in your website that you are using an image like this, right? If I inspect element, WordPress is going to write the image tag, right? And it is going to give you an alt attribute that you need to put a value in there. So this value is describe something meaningful. Well, that's not really, you know, I mean, that's a dummy alt attribute. But if we go and we edit the page, and we go to this image, and we edit this image, always put something meaningful in your alt text, right? Because that's partially what Google uses for indexing images or, you know, search engine optimization. So basically, then, oh, domain and file names. That's the last one. This is where now they don't have this default number, permalink defaulted anymore. They've changed it. You should always change your permalink structure to write the URL, right? So again, if we're here, convert your 960 grid website layout, etc., it is going to write the permalink with the title in it because under my settings, under permalinks, they now call this plain, whatever. I typically use the day and name. Why? I don't know. Put a date there so you know when it was written. But that's the biggest thing, right? So what are the results? When I first created this website, I ranked on page 36 for a Google search of logo design CO when I first put up Premium Design Works. But after implementing the techniques above, plus the XML Sitemaps plugin, oh, you damn cheaters. You snuck ahead of me since the last hour. Bastards. I'm continuously duking it out with Seattle Web Design and Pixel and Image Co. I don't know, must depend on which way the wind is blowing that day. Anyway, that's search engine optimization. So for you guys, then, your assignment in your functions PHP file, right? Site title, tagline, enable excerpts, get the excerpt function, et cetera, et cetera. You're already done, aren't you, Dwayne?
Yeah.
Good.
I'm not done with this week's, but I'm done with this one.
Oh, this is bumming me out. Come on.
You can almost hear him anyway.
Oh, I'm not going to that one.
I don't want to know. Our main.
Hodor.